and then you gotta hit the go live button. And then that takes 30 seconds, but really it's live as soon as you click the button from what I've seen. Visually it says not. But hello everybody. We are live. And we're gonna be playing some D&D tonight. This is Agents of B.E.A.R.D, session 35, and we are gonna be out in Whitmore County, so right around where this X is on the map. The party had traveled from Whitmore down to this area for extracurricular, somewhat official business to check out the Feywild stuff. But it's not a official assignment, paid assignment, that is. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Where do I want to put that? I gotta do something.
Oh, okay.
I just gotta remember where to do it. Maybe it's here. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I don't think there's anything else I wanted to cover beforehand. So I feel like we can just go ahead and get started. Anyone want to do a recap? Wonderful. It's
been a little while since we played.
It has been a while. It has been a while. All right, give me a second. Edit.
Now we had some downtime.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
All right. Where we had left off, this party had basically met up in Whitmore. So, it's a merger of the party out of Whitmore, the Whitmore Standard of Khaligrim, Vels, and Wisp, and they had just come back from a job out in the Iron Hope Post, the mining post region. Clearing out a cave so that the miners could go in and start mining for iron. And on their way back, they received a message from Jabble Webner, Jabble something. I forget what his last name is. Is it Webner or Welber? Jabble. It's Jabble. And Jabble was a druid-esque type character who had met this party on their trip back to Whitmore from Hovestad when they were escorting the mayor. So had spent a few days with them and just learning what each other, what each group was doing, and made a connection with Wisp. Seemed to have understanding of her family and where she came from and who she was, at least surface level. And yeah, they both had seemed to be interested in figure out what was going on with the gateways, the Feywild gateways, and why they had closed. So Jabble was going to be heading down south Pumpkin Town to Firbolg territory to meet with people down there, as well as just kind of explore the area. He's a bit of a wanderer, and see if he could figure out anything. And once he was in a good place, he was going to reach out, and that's what he did. So he reached out by way of message through a woodpecker and a walnut. And inside the walnut was a map and a note that said, "Meet me here." So yeah, no jobs in Whitmore currently. Some things are happening that, yeah, everyone's just kind of like on hold for a little bit. But in the meantime, Clover, Paladin, you had spent time in Hovestad and did some jobs out there, and were on your way to Whitmore, basically helping out the Churches Guild reach out to Golden Grove and Pumpkin Town, and eventually Whitmore, to set up shrines and I don't know, locations to basically preach and worship and all that stuff. But yes, once you got to Whitmore, no jobs available, but you guys were connected, and you're a Firbolg. So yes, it made sense for you to head back, head with this party, as they were going to meet with Jabble in Firbolg territory. It'll be your first time going home in quite some time.
Few hundred.
And yeah, and so yes, you guys head out there. You meet with Jabble. You have dinner with the Firbolg community, and yes. Before we get to general vibes and what you guys learned while you're here, let's go around the table. Introduce yourselves. Start with Clover. Say hello.
Oh, okay. We're starting with me today. Hi, I am Clover. I am a Firbolg Paladin of Lathander. I always say that what she lacks in mind, she makes up with in heart. My real name is Lark. My pronouns are they, them.
Okay. We also have the Gamer Hobbit. Say hello.
Hello. I am the Gamer Hobbit, and I'm playing as Khaligrim, a hill dwarf who is seeking an adventure beyond the halls of stone to uncover the mysteries of the giants, and to learn that knowledge and one day pass it down to his kin.
And in Notorious.
Hello, I am Notorious, and I am playing Vels, a gem dragonborn from the House of Dusk from the Perilous Peaks. He had a very rough childhood, got taken up in the evil dragonborns, and now is trying to fix his wrongs and help to bring his people in to live better with the people of the continent.
And last but not least, we have Letha Prime.
Oh, I will be playing as Wisp Ithrian, the Wood Elf Druid, and I grew up in an area where we watched over a portal to the Fey Realm, and one day it mysteriously closed, and I'm trying to figure out why that happened and how to get that open again.
Okay, so the gateways have closed within the last 20 years. It has trapped quite a few known travelers from the Feywild, and at least those that are known have set up residences, I guess. We've got a few living in Copper Crossing. We got a few down to the eastern side in Wycliffe, and but it seems like a majority is over in the Copper Crossing area, thereabouts. But yeah, there's a gateway that was at least the one that Wisp is aware of, over on the edge of the Bearded Jungle, somewhere in that vicinity. There was a gateway that her family was set to protect, but it since has closed with no explanation. But Wisp, you seem to have the most knowledge of this and have obviously shown interest in it. So as of last time you were in Whitmore, you were given official ownership of the project. It's kind of your project now is to investigate. While it's not necessarily a paying job, it is within the interest of the continent to figure out. So yes, you guys had traveled down to this little community. And once there, well, just outside is where you met with Jabble, and Jabble said that he got some information. Was still processing it for the most part, trying to figure out exactly how everything, like what everything meant. Just because communication seemed to be a little, Firbolg have a way with words, and it doesn't always. It doesn't always line up with civilized talk. So, yeah, he has some things that he thinks could be worth pursuing, some leads, but still needs to kind of process everything. And but yes, said that they were welcoming, and everyone was aware that you guys were coming. Although the Clover side of it was a bit of a surprise, which is a great surprise because, again, this is where you lived, Clover.
Yes.
So, yeah, you guys were basically welcomed. A very, very warm welcome for everybody, except for Vels. Vels are Dragonborn. You, yeah, you had just got this feeling, this vibe, that you weren't necessarily wanted there. Got some constant looks, some side eyes, some sneers. No one really talked to you. Everyone else kind of got approached and talked to you, but people seem to be definitely not ignoring your presence, but not quite acknowledging it either. Clover, it has been some time since you've been here, so you definitely recognize most of the faces. Some new ones. Faces you've seen before are a bit older now. But yeah, vibe-wise, it's just as it was before. Wisp, for you, it's just a super cozy place. Well lived in, lots of nature, not much as far as like civilized methods go. It's a lot of hunting, gathering. Wood is used for most of the structures here, but you know, for the most part, it's just wood. It's not processed. It's not cut a certain way. It's to make it look nice. It's just your standard tree trunks kind of put together. Khaligrim, for you, I don't know. You're just kind of like, you're for sure the shortest one there. Everyone's kind of towering over you. Outside of the younger ones, you know, obviously there are some that are not as large. But yeah, you guys had sat down for dinner, and during that, as Clover was catching up and Wisp and Jabble were catching up, it had been realized that 3 younger members of the community had not arrived. They had set out in the morning, and it's unusual for a group to set out and not return by dinner time. There's fear, because you know, it could be it's definitely not an issue that they got lost. Could they have run into something? Yes. However, they are of the age of the rebellious. And could it be possible that they would have gone to the place where no one must go? I believe, Clover, that was your thought. That's where they probably headed to. So they asked you guys to head out. Your adventurers is kind of what you do. They would normally do it, but in case it is to the place, they don't want to go there. So better to send you guys out first. So where we're gonna pick up, unless there was anything else that you guys wanted to do, but we're gonna pick up with you guys heading out.
Can't think of anything else. What time of day is it?
After dinner time, so I would say you probably have about a half an hour of daylight left.
Okay.
At least until the sun sets. You'll still have some light, but you know, if you're out longer than 45 minutes or so, it's probably torch time. But yeah.
Do I remember how far away the place is? Could it be reached within 30 to 45 minutes, or is it a little farther?
It's a little farther.
Okay.
They settled close to it, but not too close to it. So yeah, I would say this particular location is roughly about 45 minutes to an hour away.
Okay.
And I would say, generally speaking, you know the way.
Okay.
Mostly because the location is taught. And it is taught not to go there.
Right.
Clover, what you would know about the general area, though, is as far as other possibilities. As far as like them being like attacked or anything like that by wildlife. There are bears in this area. There are wolves. But it's not as fierce as the foothills up north. The type of bear out here is more of your brown bear type, so or black bear rather. So they smaller, less likely to get involved in anything. As far as your knowledge, you don't think there is really anything of like a huge threat out here.
Yeah. I think for the most part, most Firbolg are pretty chill with nature, and nature is pretty chill in return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I would sort of shuffle the party a little bit away from the rest of the village and just... It's gonna be a little farther. It's gonna be dark by the time we get there.
And real quick, just kind of want to ping some places on the map. So let me bring you guys over here. All right. So generally speaking, Clover's area, right there, right where that map marker is. The general hunting and gathering areas are in the forests. Where this place is, though, is just over the edge of the swamp. The swamp is, so the Grimhead Marsh is not necessarily a location that the Firbolg like to go to, depending on season. If it's a wet season, they might go there just because there's a lot more water, which means fish do come up, especially like the mud skippers. But otherwise, yeah, that's not necessarily a location that you guys go. But that is where you guys would head today to scout this location. Jabble is with you as well, by the way. Any questions that you guys might have, either Jabble or Clover, since they're both somewhat familiar with this area. Clover more than Jabble. Very well.
So do you,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Clover, do you know if there are any sort of creatures we might come across along the way that you know of?
From the sound of what you told me, B.E.A.R.D, it's mostly just generic animals.
Generic animals up until the marsh, and then I think your knowledge is less filled in here, just because the marsh isn't quite where you guys would go. There's a lot more insects there for sure. You would know that. But as far as creatures, you haven't gone very far into the marsh, so at least the first hour into it, similar stuff. But even they don't seem to head that direction.
It's mostly just animals in the forest. The marsh, I'm not really sure. We don't really go there.
This is Jabble. Jabble speaks up. I did venture down at least to the land border with the marsh. I didn't really notice many creatures on the ground. Flying bats. There seemed to be a lot of bats around that area. A lot of snakes. But it seemed somewhat of a dead zone for land-based creatures, at least from what I could see. But talking with the community here, they seem to be apprehensive about going there. Didn't really go into explanation of why.
In that case, I guess we'll find out when we get there.
Clover, you lead the way, and go ahead and well, let's start off with let's start off with this. First of all, everybody roll me a d6, please.
Yes.
And then Clover, can you roll me a survival?
Sorry.
Oof.
We
Got a 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, hey, maybe let me just expand this a little bit. There it goes. Just normal.
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
Ouch.
I'm gonna
can I
just
give-
refresh real quick.
Can I give them my my reroll right away?
It is our first roll of the day. Second, technically,
Better.
but
Yeah.
yes, group assistance would be useful here.
Yeah, go ahead and reroll that.
Okay. Better.
There we go.
There we go.
The refresh did it.
All right. Quick note. Survival is the bug. Okay, we found a bug. You have to expand the size of your character sheet a smidgen just to be able to see survival as a skill.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Since you struggled, I took a look, but yes. All right. I'll make a note. So, all right. About half an hour in. Well, actually, I would say throughout the journey, you're just... I would say you are, like, regardless of like, what's going on in your head about the possibility of going out here and, you know, actually heading out in this direction. I would say that you are making it a point to just be on the lookout for different signs of tracks, like footprints that would suggest someone was heading out in this direction. And as you get further away from the camp, I would say about 15 minutes out, the amount of tracks around are less frequent, which makes sense. But there is one set, seems to be roughly 3 people. No boots, just barefoot, which again would fit. And yes, seemingly heading out in this direction. They as far as time, I would think that this area is not really well traveled. Maybe once or twice a year is kind of like a thing that's known, that there is a group that will head out once or twice a year, just scope out the general region, the general area, make sure nothing's going on. Kind of like just a quick patrol type thing. But this set seems rather fresh. Seems like within the last 12 hours, which again seems to fit. And I would say at about a half an hour in, there really isn't anything else out here. Ground is starting to get a bit wetter as you're getting closer to the border with the Grimhead Marsh. The grass texture is starting to change. The leaf colors are starting to change, like a brighter green to more of a muted, darker green. But again, as about a half hour goes by, sun has officially set. There is you're basically at dusk. You still have some daylight, but it is getting to the point where it's a little bit more difficult to make out everything that's around you. Just the way the sun hits everything, the way the shadows are being cast. Especially as you're mostly under trees as you go, so it feels a bit darker. So Clover, before you react to that information, I do want to know,
Yeah.
heading out to this place, how is it affecting Clover?
She's jittery. Like, it's the equivalent of someone going to, dare I say, like, the bad side of town that their parents always told them never to go to. She's scared, but she's like, she knows she has to do this. So she's still going forward. But there's an obvious, like, hesitancy in her movements.
I imagine there probably is some conversation happening. Jabble probably would be speaking with you, Wisp, but loud enough for everyone else to kind of overhear. But just like just some general information about what he knows about this place. You know, it seems to be on the more superstitious side. Barely any information whatsoever. Is like he couldn't really get why they're not allowed to come out here. It's just that they couldn't. Everyone was forbid to do so, and everyone follows those rules.
I guess that makes sense.
His assumption is it has some kind of historical context. You know, obviously these guys are natives, so something must have happened here that, you know, maybe it got passed down through generations, or maybe it doesn't. So like maybe they know what's here and are just unwilling to say it, or maybe they don't know and this is just what they do. They just don't go out here.
Well, it sounds like it's at least been going on for a few hundred years. If Clover grew up hearing that. And can I see that Clover is visibly uncomfortable?
She's not hiding it.
I think Wisp would go over and like.
Yeah, real quick. Let me take a look at your sheet. I would say. Yeah. Oh, you would notice that they're just basic perception. You would notice that there is almost like a stiffness to her, and maybe like a just clenching of fists, clenching of weapons to the side kind of thing. But yeah, you would definitely just get the vibe that like there's some reluctance here.
Mm-hmm. I think in that case, Wisp would I would step over to Clover and kind of like extend a hand towards them. It's like, would it help you if you held my hand?
When you sort of slide up next to her, she doesn't really notice you at first. So when you speak, she just jumps and squeaks a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
That. Yes, please. And she'll reach down and hold your hand. But, she's like 7, 8 feet tall, so just sort of envelops your entire hand.
Well, it's very warm. In dangerous situations before, and so far it hasn't killed us yet. So I think we're going to be okay.
She'll inhale and exhale and right, we'll be okay.
Have you been in very many other like dangerous situations, or is it kind of something that you generally avoid?
Well, I've been in a few, but not many. There was when I went down into the hole underneath the church's guild, but that we didn't really get to the really dangerous part, I think. There was this big, scary metal thing with bodies on its back.
Sounds scary. Well, you never really get used to going into scary situations, but it always helps having some good people by your side.
She'll just sort of perk up a little bit. She's got those little cow ears, and those will perk up along with her. And yeah, it's always nice to have friends to rely on.
Do you know that Vels can like breathe fire?
And
Yes, I can, and it's gotten us out of some sticky situations.
And then Khaligrim can basically attach fire to his axe if he wants to, and I've seen him take some pretty good hits and keep going.
he just sort of gives a toothy grin, and yeah, that's why I decided to be a paladin and not a cleric. I wanted to be able to fight and protect my friends, take all the hits that I wanted, so that they didn't have to.
It's a pretty noble reason. And out of curiosity, are you able to see in the dark?
That I cannot remember.
I think you would notice that she is, at this point, you guys are about 45 minutes in, starting to struggle. Obviously, starting to stumble a little bit, trying to catch the moonlight, the rest of the sunlight that's just barely peeking in. But yeah, torches here, any kind of light would be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm definitely lighting a torch.
Firbolg do not have dark vision. I did not realize that. TIL.
Yay, another non-dark vision buddy.
Yeah, thought that was the case.
Quick aside, did anyone notice the skull at the bottom? Like,
Oh, of the map.
Oh.
of the map? There's just a random skull at the bottom of the map.
It has meaning.
Oh, there's
Who's,
a couple of skulls.
who's lighting the torch?
Vels.
Okay. Just make a note of that.
And Wisp is kind of keeping an eye out.
Right. So yeah, you guys have been basically walking 2 by 2. With Jabble just kind of carrying up the rear. But everybody roll me a perception check, please.
Nice.
Vels saving us.
Vels may or may not be slightly on edge from the last time we were out here.
Okay. So you guys are going to reach a little bit of a clearing. And what's kind of odd about this location is that it's not that the grass is like well kept, it's just more of like a clover, a mossy type covering here. However,
I thought you were talking to me.
yeah, I know. That's why I switched to moss
Clover is
real
covering
quick.
the ground.
Yeah, more of like a mossy type ground cover here. And but what is interesting about it is that there is a very obvious path, like a dirt path, not necessarily well traveled, but it just seems to be cut and somehow preserved. I think, yeah, you guys would all kind of notice that at first. Maybe cause you guys to kind of stop to take a look. Like, that's just kind of odd, right? But in the meantime, Vels, you're going to hear voices coming from the... you guys are heading south. So south... Yeah, I'll just say south of you, but along this path.
So I'm just like hearing whispers, not any like words in particular, just general whispers. Or
You are hearing one particular voice. It's a bit muted. But it is... You hear the voice, you recognize that it's speaking, you don't have any clue on what's being said. So there's like a main voice, seems comes off very feminine, but then you will also catch like the whispering of 2 others. It sounds a good like 50-60 feet ahead of you. It does not seem like they have noticed you. But again, speaking some language you don't understand.
Does anyone else hear that voice? I can't make it out.
What voice?
Voice?
There's some kind of voice. I don't know if there's one major one, and I don't know if it's just echoing or something. It's like a mixture a little bit, but there's like one central one.
Just to clarify, how are you saying this? Are you saying this in regular tone and loudness, or not?
Just like just a normal speaking voice, so everyone can hear.
Okay, but you're not trying to shield it from whoever is also speaking in the distance.
Not directly.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming up from a bit of ways down the path.
Would
As he points it out to you, you guys don't necessarily hear it at first. But if you guys are gonna continue forward, then you would be able to make it out. And actually, I take that back. If there's a so you guys kind of pause where this path starts. Vels hears the voice, points about. You guys all kind of hush and listen, and then yes, I would say you all kind of recognize. There's voices. Clover.
Mhm.
And Khaligrim. You don't hear the whispers, but you do hear the other voice, the louder voice. You're getting tones of giant as far as word structure, but you guys can't quite make it out what's being said from out here. Like, it's not being shouted, it's just being said a bit louder than just normal talk.
Yeah, that voice you were saying, Vels, I can hear it, but it sounds familiar, but I don't know what. Do you reckon we should investigate or press on?
I was gonna turn to Wisp, and Wisp, you're the one in charge of this mission. What do you say?
Well, do you want me to scout out ahead and see what I can find?
Jabble will speak up. Well, if they aren't speaking in a language you understand, taking someone else with you probably makes sense. If it is the Firbolg, probably speaking giant or something like that.
I'm able to pick out a little bit of giant. I can't hear what they're saying, but it sounds like giant words.
I can at least try to go ahead and see how many there are. And see what they are.
So as you guys begin to head forward,
I was going
Clover,
to.
you. Oh,
Yep,
yes,
I was
go ahead.
going to wild shape into a panther and kind of scout forward before we start moving forward too much.
Okay, are you taking Clover with you or no?
No, because I just want to stealth my way over there just to get an initial look to see if there's anything really out of the ordinary.
I'll take a few steps forward, but not follow all the way. Let her go on ahead. But I'm close enough that if I need to run up and help, I can.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. All right, so Wisp then, yes, as a panther. We are using the home rule, house rule, that cats and cat-like creatures have dark vision. So yeah, you should be fine in that light. You will as you travel up the path towards these voices, there is a little bit of a bend to the right of this path, and as you cross this, you're going to very let me get rid of some things here. Yeah, I would say a good 50 feet ahead of you. You are gonna notice what appears to be like pillars, just rocks, large pillars of rock, maybe 20, 25, 30 feet tall, all like different heights. But a very obvious light being cast around it. You're seeing some flickering candle light behind it. And the voices are getting, at least the one voice is getting louder. You do start to hear the other two that were whispering seem to be shushing this louder voice, but she seems to disregard it. Just looking at passive insight for you, I would say what you get. There it is. What you would get is you just get a sense of like worry from the two voices that are quieter. The one voice that is loud seems to be very it's just coming off very confident, very motivated.
But just to verify, are
So
they?
You're
is it
about
actually
50
the
feet
same-
away. You're about 50 feet away, so you can't see anyone yet, but
Oh, okay.
You're just hearing.
Ah, well, gradually move forward and kind of. You said they were kind of behind the pillars.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll kind of stay low to the ground and sneak my way forward and kind of peer around one of the pillars and see if I can see kind of who it is essentially, or.
Yes. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check with the panther.
I think it's looking at it, it's a +6. I'll just roll the 20.
Yes, it is a +6. Okay.
Oh, 23.
Well, let me pull you to this map. And so you start to kind of creep forward. So I don't know if you can fully make it out, but yeah, there's some rock pillars here.
Can't see those,
but
but I
there's
can see
some-
some shadows.
Yeah, some candlelight. Give me a second. Let me make sure your dark vision is turned on. No, it is not. Sorry. That would explain it. Oh, that's
There we go.
that's super bright. Hold on a second. You've got dark vision, so you've got dark vision. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, continue. So yes, I would say as you get here, so the way the rocks are set up is they're kind of short and thin on either side, and then they just kind of gradually loop up towards the center. So the center is the highest part. So I would say here you can just barely make out this guy, and once you get here, you can make out this guy, and you can make out this guy.
Okay.
Firbolg, 3 of them.
Mhm.
Candles have been put out. Not necessarily in. Yeah, it just looks like candles were carried over, and lit. But they're not like. They're not like on a table or anything. Like it's just kind of randomly scattered around this area. But the one that is next to the rock, next to the center piece, is the one that is speaking very confidently, and is almost like the other two are kind of like you're seeing like motions of like waving around. They are like walking back and forth, like talking amongst themselves. Like they seem to be confused, or at least like there's definitely a nervousness there. Like they're kind of at a loss. You would get that sense, like what to do. Like just like a lot of hand motions, like the general "what do we do" kind of vibe, right?
Mhm.
But she seems to just be kind of standing back against the central pillar and just focusing on this pillar, then this one, then this one, and then she goes back. She just kind of keeps that almost like wave-like motion.
Interesting. Can I hear what she's saying?
It is definitely in a language you do not understand.
Okay. In that case, since I can basically confirm it's the Firbolg, I'll head back to the group.
Yeah, it makes sense. They all look rather on the younger side. So
Mhm.
yes, it does appear to be the 3 Firbolgs that you guys were looking for. I would say let me take a look at just passive perception. Don't see any markings on the exterior pillars. But definitely casting some shadows from the candlelight on the central pillar. You are noticing shapes, almost like glyphs of some sort, inscribed in this thing.
Do I recognize
But
them
she
at all?
seems to have one hand, like her right hand is always to her side and like placed onto it. It seems. So as she like moves to face the other pillar, she always has the one arm like behind her. Do you recognize any of the symbols? Go ahead and roll me a perception. And I'll say you do have an issue because you are dark vision, and that light casting is flickering from this distance. It would be rather difficult to fully see any of them.
Okay, so at disadvantage.
Just roll just roll perception as normal, and I'll
Okay.
the DC was not 19, so that will defeat it. All right. Yes, one of the symbols you do recognize. It's above her head, about 8 feet up. Is it definitely looks like the symbol that Khaligrim has on his weapon. That is a giant rune, so yes, it would. I think. Yeah, I think things would maybe start to click a little. That you've heard this tone of voice before. You've heard the vocal structure before. Quite recently in the Firbolg camp, you can assume that she's speaking giant.
Okay. I guess with that information, I'll head back to the group and turn back to myself and inform them of what I've seen.
All right. Very good. You are back with the party.
Yeah, it's definitely the three of them up ahead, but there's something strange going on.
What do you mean?
So two of the Firbolgs are definitely nervous about what's going on, but the third one seems to be. I'm not sure exactly what she's doing, but there's some sort of giant rune, like the one that you have, Khaligrim, that she's like placed her hand on. She's speaking in giant. I don't really know what she's saying because I don't speak giant, but I don't know. There's something strange going on. They're hidden behind these pillars, and
Sounds like some kind of ritual. Probably should get to them quickly.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys head forward. And did you say wait a minute?
No, I was telling my cat to get off my desk.
Okay.
Her name is Violet.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll bring you guys here. So as you move forward, there's a little bit of bend in the road. Up ahead, you can see just past the dark area for most that can see in dark vision. Yes, there is some candlelight coming up ahead. It seems to be lit, but there is two Firbolg that are moving around. Don't seem to notice you guys at all. But the voice is definitely louder. I would say from this distance, Khaligrim and Clover, you both would recognize she is speaking in giant, and she seems to be increasing the speed in which he is talking.
Can I make out the words that she's saying?
Yes, Khaligrim as well. The words are very simple. It's just the context that I think is unclear. She seems to be referring to various giants. So the frost giant, and talks about the ice and the cold and the wind. Goes on to the fire giant, and the heat and the flames, and then it just keeps going through like this group. But then so it's just kind of just the context of it is kind of weird, as she is just going back and forth between the different variations of giant and what they symbolically mean, or at least associate with. But then I would say like she rotates through 6 or 7 different giant types, and then she will say well, actually then she goes quiet. Then she goes quiet. And you hear the voices of the other two kind of pick up. Seem to be, again, speaking in giant, but come on. There's enough of this. Let's go. We have to go home.
I guess we should head forward.
Agreed.
How should we approach this? Should we just approach them normally, or should we like sneak our way in? We don't want to startle them.
We should just approach normal.
Okay.
All right. We'll start heading forward in that case.
Okay. You guys have free movement. So feel free to place yourself wherever you'd like to go.
Yep.
And again, I believe actually we didn't. You guys are just approaching north normally.
Yes.
Yeah, I think once we get maybe about to here, I'll call out to them.
My map's not loading.
What?
Yeah, it's all grayed out for me. The other regions work, but not the clearing one that we're in now. I can't see anything.
I'll try to manually pull you in, but otherwise I would refresh.
Yeah, I could try that.
Wisp, as you get closer, what are you calling out with?
In as friendly a voice as I can muster and be like, "Hello there. We're in search of 3 young friends who are missed at home right now."
And when she calls out common, I'd call out in giant. It's dinner time. The adults are worried about you.
Clover, you hear in giant an expletive. But then the one that's in the center, the female voice that has been the loudest, yells out again in giant. No, the giants, they come tonight. And then she goes back into the rhythm of what she was saying before, calling out each of the types of giants. But the two will run out, especially now that they've heard someone in giant. It's not good. It's not good. We don't know what to do. She
I'll-
won't leave.
I'll hurry up to the two that have come out. Just, what is she doing? And Giant, what is she doing?
Well,
She
keep
won't
pace.
leave. She's attached herself to the center pillar. I don't know why she's calling out the giants. We shouldn't be out here. And it's the shorter one that is more he's more cowering, but he's the one that is speaking. We were just exploring, and we found this place. We weren't gonna stay here for very long, but we noticed something strange up along the side of a mound, and he points up to the north on this map. So just behind him. There's some slime or something coming out of it, and she made a game out of it, trying to force us to touch it, and we wouldn't touch it, but she slipped in and fell, and ever since she's just gone crazy. She's been talking about the giants ever since and bringing them back. Oh, I don't know what I don't know what to do. We're gonna be in so much trouble.
No, everyone's just worried. Here. And I'll point back to Jabble. Go stay with our friend, Jabble, and we'll take care of what's going on.
Jabble will wave, and they'll move down.
I'm assuming that you've been translating.
Yes, I've been translating.
In that case, I'm going to head forward to where I can see the central Firbolg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start heading up north to see what's going on with that slime.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up north to see what's going on with the possession slimer. I don't even know what that is.
Well, I'm going to go ahead
Okay.
and
No, go ahead, Wisp.
I was going to go ahead and cast Dispel Magic on the Firbolg.
Okay, well, first of all, Khaligrim and Wisp, go ahead and just roll me perception. Yeah, perception would make sense. Vels and Clover, they had talked about a mound up north. You don't see it from this vantage point. You would have to continue moving forward.
Okay.
Vels is your light, Clover.
I'll only move 20 feet at a time so you can. Oh.
And yes, Vels, as you get there, in front of you is a mound about 30 feet high at its peak. You can just barely kind of make it out because there's no tree covering, so some of the sunset light as well as some of the moonlight that's kind of coming, like that dusk look, is showing this off a little bit. But yes, it's just a round mound. I think what would set it apart for you, at least like it's covered in greenery, so it's covered in like that mossy grass, but just the shape of it seems very man-made. However, right where you're standing here, you can see it. There is a large circular granite door or stone, kind of comes off as a door, right there, right at the edge of the path.
Could I sort of connect the dots? And because this is also Lark, who works in museum work and archaeology and all that, is this a burial mound?
I would say it kind of comes off like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not well, it's climbable for sure, but it's not like a slow grade. It's like it
Right.
goes up pretty steep, pretty quick. But I would say Clover, from where you're standing, again, just basing off the previous survival roll,
Mhm.
you're not really seeing a lot of foot traffic up here, but you are seeing a path. It's like coming down this way. It seems to be coming from this general direction.
Okay. How long would it take me to light a torch of my own? Just an action?
Oh yeah, just an action, just pretty instantaneous.
All right, then I'll light a torch for myself as well.
Okay, sounds good. Torches been given.
Thank you. Then I would point out to Vels the footsteps coming from in this direction.
So I wonder if the rock or the slime thing's up this way then.
I think so.
Definitely need to check out this mound later. That is... It's odd to see one out here.
But if they're giant roots, then you two have dark vision down there, or are we stealing light from you?
No, they're good. They got
We
dark
have dark
vision.
vision.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and pause you guys where you are. Let's head back to the other two. All right. So we got a 10, we got a 17. Okay, so Wisp, I think you would probably be focusing in on the Firbolg that's in the center. You are seeing the hand. Again, like that just seems to be kind of something you focus in on, the right hand that's just like on the central pillar. You can see a bit of rope dangling down as she moves, and as she moves you can see that her hand is wrapped in that rope, and it's seemingly tied around the central pillar. But yes, as you step in closer, this is definitely some kind of well, it's definitely a circle of stones, so probably some religious or spiritual significance to the way it's set up, just based on general knowledge. 1, 2, 3, 7 stones, 8 stones, sorry, 8 stones, 1 in the center. Khaligrim, yes, I would say you see her, but as you're just kind of gauging the situation around, you see your rune, the rune that you have on yourself, and just kind of stands out to you. Very strange to see that, but as you look around, you get a sense that this is giant stuff. This is what you've been looking for. But yes, Khaligrim, you would get a sense that some kind of ritual is being performed here. There is just the vocal pattern, just the obvious repeating of herself. It definitely comes off as some kind of ritual of some kind. But it doesn't quite make sense to you. It's almost as if she's calling the giants to return, which seems odd. Seems odd that they would come back to something like this. But Wisp, you were going to cast Dispel Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and cast it. Okay. So you cast Spell Magic. So for any spell with a bit of magical effect within range, any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. You see no difference in the scenario. It's definitely not magic that is controlling her. But as you cast that and you're looking at the hand, you're looking how she's tied herself, you will notice green dripping slime around her pants, her elbows, chest, hair. Not that she's drenched in it, but just like different spots of like this green like gel almost is covering her. You would also notice her eyes, very bloodshot, almost bugged out, very wide, eyes wide open. So if it is a matter of she being affected by the slime, as was suggested by the other two Firbolgs, could be like a poison or some kind of mental thing that took over, a hallucination maybe.
At least that spell failing gave me a better idea of what it isn't, so.
But Khaligrim, yeah, looks like she's tied to this stone. I would think, Khaligrim, you're like, there's a seriousness to this situation, but I think just the fact that you're seeing all these giant runes around, like, it's kind of awe-inspiring.
How long do you reckon she's been tied up there, though? Doing this looks like a ritual.
I have no idea, but I'm wondering if we should stay here and try and help her, or if we should join the others and see if we can find the source. What do you think?
I don't know. Kind of like losing my thoughts a little bit with like the place because of the giant ruins and all that. Kind of just wondering a little. Not taking in the full question. I don't know. Sorry, I'm lost in all this, you know? This is all like giant stuff, but I don't know. I suppose we should go back with the other two and regroup, but what if something happens to her and...
Well, I don't think the two of us are going to stop whatever she's doing, and we want to make sure that the others are going to be okay, and I don't think this circle's going anywhere, so we can always come back and take a look.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, we should go and regroup with them.
I guess I'll just yell back at Jabble to, come yell at us if something gets worse. And start heading up towards our friends.
Okay. I'll say you guys get about that far. And then let's pause for you guys. The other two, you were heading up. Continue your movement. As you're looking, you're not really noticing anything off in particular so far.
This is a massive map, Beard.
All right. You are gonna get here. Let's just move you guys here. You're gonna notice there's a little bit of a clearing up to the top left. But there seems to be in this this general area, it's kind of like a string of slime. It seems very strong. It's coming out of a bit of a burrow type hole in the side of this mound. So you can see the hole. It would be something you would have to kind of crawl through to get in, but it's like that kind of size. It definitely seems like something broke through it, or dug through it, or maybe just time. But yeah, it's got some vines, but there are some like kind of like loose rock about. But yeah, there's just like not quite a a river per se of slime, but yeah, it just kind of stretches out of that. And you can definitely see the spot where she fell in, and they pulled her out, and then they went to the south. It's got a greenish tint to it. Actually, let me rephrase that, because the ground is kind of green, right? I would say it's like a fluorescent green. So it definitely stands out. Almost accentuated by the mossy grass.
Okay, this stuff's coming from inside, but
I'm gonna get as close to the mound as I can without touching the slime, and just see like how it's coming out, if it's seeping through cracks, if there's a stone that's been removed, what the situation is.
Okay. I'd say you kind of have to like move over, kind of like lean up against it, and look, like grab a hold of some of the stronger grass to just gain his leverage to kind of peek around. Yeah, there's definitely a trail coming from inside. So something seemingly has come out through this mound. It's headed off to the northwest. Or the reverse. It's kind of hard to tell. I would say there's some rubble on the outside, but as you peek through, there's also some rubble on the inside. It definitely looks wet, but it's really difficult to gauge how long it's been there or direction that it was going. Outside of the drag marks from the Firbolgs pulling the one out, that's really all you're seeing.
I'm gonna take a javelin and just sort of take a step back and poke at the slime and see what it does.
Okay.
Ready to drop the javelin if it starts crawling up it.
Doesn't really seem to have any effect on the javelin. Metal piece, wood piece. I'm sorry, metal
Metal.
side or
Yeah,
wood side?
metal.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have any effect. But it definitely sticks to it. You just kind of like make it like you poke at it, and as you bring up the javelin, some of it comes up with it and just kind of like starts to slowly drip off of it.
Yeah.
I will say there is a pretty strong smell of rot in this area. And actually, when you pick up the javelin and look to where you had poked, it did uncover some of the mossy grass, but that area seems to be almost withered away.
Gonna glance over at Vels and what do you think? And she's like trying to like shake off the gunk off of her javelin.
Well, whatever this. Wait, so we don't know if it's coming like into the tomb or going out of it? It could be going either or.
Correct. Yeah, there's no definitive thing that you guys see as you look here. You see the slime on the inside, Clover. In Vels, I would say you're kind of able to see that as well. But it's not like a straight shot. It looks like a small crawlable tunnel. But it seems to curve away from you guys, or actually back towards you guys, maybe.
I don't know what's going on with this slime. It's based on the ground around it. It seems like it'd be deadly, and I feel like we need to get the oldest back as quickly as possible. Because if it's killing off all the grass here, I'd. Yeah.
All right, real quick. The other two, as you are walking up, the path from the center area does go up towards a mound. You guys will see the mound. It looks very man-made, very unnatural, covered in the same type of mossy grass and vines and stuff. In the front of the path, end of the path, is a very large, round granite boulder, almost just kind of like almost like a door. But you would see the light coming from Vels and that. But I just wanted to make sure you saw that before you continued on. So would you have paused after seeing that, Khaligrim and Wisp, or just continue moving up?
Probably would have continued. Just wanted to catch up with the with Clover and Vels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say this is the point that you guys would meet up then. As you guys walk up, they are staring at what appears to be a line of slime that seems to be coming from the side of the mound.
don't know whether it's going in or coming out. It's icky.
I mean, our little friend is definitely still somewhat covered in it.
Does it seem to react to anything?
Not when I put my javelin in. But it is killing the grass underneath.
Hmm.
Can I take a little bit of water and throw it on there?
Yes. Yes, you can. How big of a drop of water?
I mean, it's just a bit from
Shot?
my, water skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, add her a little more.
Sizzles. And it kind of
Ooh.
pushes it away. It clears out some of the ground. But yeah, there is a there's definitely some death of the plants that are underneath it. But yeah, it sizzles almost. Let me get some things. Yeah, Wisp, I would say with your nature and or medicine, and Vels maybe with your nature, your passive nature. Acid. It almost seems like acidic. Definitely did not react well with the fresh water. However, besides that, everybody roll me a Constitution saving throw. There is like, besides like the sizzle takes a few moments, but then you start to see like just the reaction, the gas reaction from that kind of flow up. Wisp, I would say Wisp, you'd probably have to like get over here to do that. And yeah, I would say Vels rolled an 18, Khaligrim 13, Clover a 15. I'd say Wisp, as you kind of turn around, you just start to cough a little bit. Your mouth starts to feel dry, your eyes start to burn a little bit.
Yeah, oh, bad idea. Let's not do that again.
You might need to go inside the mound. See what's going on in there.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, that seems like that would be the way to go about this right now. So I do not want to try crawling through that little hole to get in.
Yeah, so there's two entrances that you guys are aware of. One is this crawly hole, which has slime there, and if it is acidic, then that would probably be bad. And it did throw up a bit of a small plume that has affected Wisp a bit. Otherwise, there's the granite slab door. Could try to enter in through that way
Yeah.
as well.
We want to try the entrance without the slime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'll follow you guys. As I'm just like rubbing my eyes as we go along.
Okay. As you guys get to this, yes, once again is a very large granite slab. Looks rather heavy. It's overgrown with that mossy grass. But there's also as you guys get closer with your light, you see like little small buds, flowers, look like roses maybe. But as you get closer, it does not seem like anything. Like there's no hinges on it. It's not a swinging door. It's probably a moving door or a breaking down door.
Is it a round slab or?
It's roundish in nature. The bottom is kind of into the ground, but it could be possible to roll it out of the way. But since it's covered with the moss and vines and flowers, it might probably be rather difficult to break away from that.
I'm gonna try and start tearing some of the greenery off to make it easier to roll it.
Okay. Voice behind you is continuing to perform this ritualistic type thing. But you guys are going to hear another voice as well. It's Jabbles, as he's just kind of calling out to her. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work, but maybe we could just head home. Your friends really would like to you probably don't understand me, but we should probably go. Clover, you're able to clear off the sides. Yeah, it looks like probably something you guys could roll, but it's not something that just one of you could do. It's going to have to be a group effort.
Okay. Heave ho.
So who is all working to do this, and how are you going about it?
Which of the packs has a crowbar in it?
I don't recall. Engineers, maybe? But Foundry breaks all that out. So if you have a crowbar, it would be probably under loot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have a crowbar?
Somehow I do.
There we go.
I do not know.
From Vels' sordid past.
Yeah.
How long have you had that?
I don't even know. I don't even know I had that.
I have to look through our packs more often.
Look, crowbars come in handy. I've learned that from other games. You always need a crowbar on you.
That's true.
Crowbar.
Okay, so you got a
and full house
crowbar.
load.
Crowbar comes in handy here. All right, so crowbar would give you advantage, but again, just for context, how are you guys going about this? You're just all pushing together? Is some of you trying to pull from the other side? Like, what's this actually look like?
I'm gonna brute strength push it because I've got proficiency in athletics, so I can just shove.
And Vels is helping by just pushing as hard as he can, which isn't all that much, but it's something.
And Wisp is going to keep an eye out for anything around us. That might be weird. She's not super strong.
Okay.
I play a warlock in my other campaign. I feel that.
Okay, so yeah, we'll say Vels is kind of coming over here using the crowbar as assistance. Khaligrim, what are you doing?
I'll just put my body against the rock and hope it does something. Being a bit shorter.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it could be a matter of, I mean, it is round, so it's probably something that you could get on the lower side and push up, basically like a squat thrust. And then Clover is coming from the side and just trying to shove it forward. So Khaligrim and Clover, go ahead, roll athletics at advantage.
Advantage, okay.
21 and an 18. Very good. Let me verify here. Yeah, okay, cool. So you guys are gonna put everything you got. It's obvious this thing has not moved probably in a very, very long time. So you get it up. It takes quite a bit of effort, but you guys are both working it together alongside Vels with the crowbar, and you are prying it away from the mound, and then trying to roll it to the side, basically. You're gonna get it about halfway. There's a bit of a crawl space there. It's definitely something that you guys, one of you could probably crawl through, but yeah, it seems like as you kind of pause to kind of catch your breath, you are feeling the weight of it start to roll back. But it is possible that you guys could hold it if someone would want to sneak in.
I'll hold it. Actually, I'm gonna use one of my javelins and stick it in, and use that as a brace so that it doesn't roll.
Okay. Let me take a look at the javelin real quick. No information. Oh, yeah, no information. All right. Okay. I would say you go ahead and you place a javelin in there, and that does help for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if you let go and Khaligrim lets go, the javelin won't be able to hold it forever.
Right. I was still gonna, keep it and just use the javelin to get us a little bit more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It definitely will give you a breather, for sure.
Khaligrim, you want to go in?
Yeah. I'll go in and try and help push it from the other side.
Okay. You are able to crawl in. So with the javelin, with Clover holding it up, Vels still holding the crowbar in place, you're able to crawl in. Looking inside briefly, you see what appears to be some kind of structure. There's an open room up to the north here. You've got a door across the hall, across the way from you, about 25 feet or so. You are seeing what appears to be some kind of tables of sort. The floor is very dusty, but no obvious tracks. It is very musty and wet inside. The smell. So what are you doing?
I quickly turn around and try and like help push, like keep the boulder up from the inside.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna try to fully open this then.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the
In that
case,
Also,
oh, go ahead.
to help out, Wisp is going to use her other wild shape to turn into an ape to try and help push this thing forward.
Okay, very good.
I'm gonna say, if you guys have an opportunity to get in, get in.
That
All
ape
right,
token
you
is
go ahead
terrifying.
you bring out the ape. The ape does have proficiency in strength, so now we've got 3 people pushing. So the ape kind of takes from this position, kind of maybe pulls it to the side. Clover's pushing forward. Khaligrim coming from underneath, but from the inside, doing the same. Athletics check from the 3 of you. Again, add advantage because we have the crowbar. 20. 19. 16. Okay, very good.
There we go.
That is that'll be good enough. You guys are able to move it, and yeah, we'll say the slab is now has been moved over away from the door. The door is fully open for everyone, and it just lazily lays up against the side of the mound. There is a voice that you guys hear. It's from Jabble. Hey guys, I don't think she's gonna be stopping anytime soon. Should I try to like like a restoration type thing, or like should I just try to? I don't know if I want to force her, but we really should. I really should probably take the other 2 out if I can't take her.
I can't really talk right now because I'm an ape.
Yes, that's correct.
If you can cast a restoration spell on her, it wouldn't hurt to try.
How far? Yeah, he can see that far. Are you guys like going in, or like what are you doing?
The slime that is on her is coming or going in here. We're just trying to figure out what it is.
Okay, well, if I can't get her to move, I'm probably gonna at least take the other 2 back, and then I'll meet you guys back here. Hopefully, whatever she's doing doesn't work. But you know, I don't think everyone should stay out here just in case it does.
That is a good point. Yeah.
Who wants to stay with the cursed Firbolg?
What's up to you guys? I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like you guys have a choice of continuing on, like entering in, or going back and trying to like resolve whatever the situation is. It sounds like Jabble wants to at least take the two back,
Mm-hmm.
but plans on heading back here afterwards. So it'd just be leaving her alone. But again, if she's alone, then she should be fine.
I think at least one person should stay with her and make sure she doesn't start something.
I'll stay behind, and the rest of you can go inside. Just keep an eye, make sure nothing happens out here.
Okay. Thank you. Call us
Okay.
if something is summoned.
Okay.
All right.
Gag her if you need to.
Okay. Otherwise, you guys are gonna enter in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll let's go ahead and pause right here. Khaligrim, I'll move you back, and let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break.
Sounds good. My cat just woke up.
Oh.
All right, I am back.
So am I.
Same.
I forgot snacks. Man, I usually always come back after the halfway point with snacks.
Well, my dishwasher's taking forever and a day to do its thing, so.
Did you accidentally put it on long wash? I don't know what the proper term is, but I did that once. I have no idea how I did it, but it felt like it took like 3 hours.
No, what I did was all the appliances in my apartment are just a little bit jank. So I tried putting it on heavy because there was it was worthy of heavy.
Yeah.
And it would just sit there and the lights were blinking and I'm like, what? So I turned it off, turned it back on, put it on heavy. The lights were blinking again and I'm like, what? Third time, I just left it on normal and then it actually started working. And I'm like, yes, it's a normal cycle today.
Actually, I will be. I'll be right back. All right, sorry. I am back for real now.
Welcome back.
Thanks. Man, I just had to go and split the party. What are we gonna do?
Splitting the party is always a good idea, right?
Yeah. All right. Okay.
One second, I'll be right back.
Sounds good. I think we're still missing Vels though, so works out.
No, I'm still here.
Very well.
I'm just muting so you don't hear my crunching.
Yeah. A reminder that I didn't get snacks.
Oh, then you can't go that way. My cat really wants to play.
Not allowed.
No. Mm-mm.
My cat's Violet keeps walking across the front of my desk over my keyboard, and I'm like, you need to stop. You need to stop.
Yeah, I put one of his beds on a little table next to my computer, and so he was sleeping there during the first hour, but once we were hitting the break, he got up again, and it's just like, okay, I guess you're awake.
So if you ever hear me just say, Violet, then that's usually I'm moving her off of my keyboard onto the sofa.
We ready to go?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we'll start off with the group that is heading into the mound. Whoops. Feel free to move around. Actually, go like halfway into the room, and then pause.
There we go.
Okay. Now I am just going to shift you guys up a little bit. Just to illustrate what's in this room. So 4 corners. Almost like stone tables. On top of the tables are plinths. That seem to be made out of a darker stone. Definitely comes off religious in nature. Clover, I think for sure you would feel that, but just generally speaking, it seems almost like on a religious standpoint. But each is depicting various giant on them. So there's kind of like a small carving of a giant humanoid type figure. Each is in the shape of almost like an arrow, but just different designs, different runes on them. But also some wording underneath. Written in giant, but yeah. You gauge that there's one for frost, one for cloud, one for fire, and one for stone. The other thing you guys would notice is, again, like the floor is super dusty. There's a door at the end of the room, but also to the sides, there is a hall that seems to be leading into another room. And the door, Khaligrim, you would see on top, there definitely seems to be marking in giant up there. You can't quite make it out from where you're standing, but it definitely seems like something's written up there.
Mhm. Take a close look. There's some marking on the door. I'm guessing in giant.
Any idea what it says?
You're an ape.
Oh, yep. She thinks to herself silently, only grunting a little.
As you get closer to read Khaligrim, it says it is in giant. And it reads, "The true kings."
Markings say the true kings. Do you have an idea of what that means, Clover?
Do I? Any inkling?
I mean, for Firbolgs, at least, giants are held in high regard. Not as not like celebrated at all, but just like we come from giants, we owe them, our existence, basically. So it's kind of
Acknowledged.
yeah. You acknowledge that giants did good things, especially for the Firbolgs, brought them within existence, kind of thing. But as far as the true kings, It could fall in line with that, but that seems to be above and beyond anything that your upbringing would have said.
I'm not 100% sure.
Hmm. I'm taking it that these 4 plinths here, then, kind of like just looking around, probably represent each one of these kings, then? Giant kings or something?
Could be, ascertained, I suppose.
Hmm.
Excuse me. I'm just gonna poke around and see if I can peer into this room.
Okay. So looking into this room, again, you've got your light is flickering, right? 'Cause you've got a torch, so there is some shadows that kind of bounce about. But what you do notice is that there seems to be a statue in there. You can't quite make out the face. It's almost, and actually, as you kind of like squint at it, almost looks like the face of the statue is blindfolded. Almost has like a dark, maybe made out of stone, like just wrap around it, around its eyes. And it is facing this direction.
Which direction? Towards me? That direction. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Move in a little closer just to see into the room. Okay, it's round.
So, real quick, if we're going to continue moving forward, I want you guys to feel like you have the freedom to fully explore this. So, I posted this in the Discord, but it is the rulings that we're going to be using for somewhere. Hold on. Dungeon pacing. Okay. So dungeon pacing, it's in the overhead house rules section. But basically, the assumption is you guys are going to be spending about 10 minutes in each room, unless you tell me otherwise. Unless you tell me you're just quickly getting through as fast as possible.
Okay.
Okay. So that's based on PHB as far as its time definition, as well as the Dungeon Master's Guide as far as walking through a dungeon. So basically, we'd be taking now I don't remember exactly what the terminology is, but I think it's a round. So it's basically like initiative, right? So
Right.
an initiative, when you're in combat, you have various turns, and those turns all fit within a 6-second round. Instead, with the dungeon pacing, if you guys are going to be spending 10 minutes in a room, then the round is 10 minutes, and you have 10 minutes to do whatever you'd like. And that's all happening at the same time, kind of thing. So if everyone's doing something different, then it's all happening at the same time. So again, that is the assumption. That's the default. But if you aren't wanting to spend that long in here, just tell me what your intention is here, because that'll determine what you see. So as you're creeping closer, Clover.
I'm gonna stick kind of close behind them.
Okay. Well, actually, let's decide. Let's decide. Clover, Khaligrim, Wisp. Are you fully exploring this thing, or are you just doing quick glancery type stuff before determining what you're gonna do?
From just this one room, it looks like it's primarily empty except with the statue. So I'm just going to be doing quick glances unless there's something more to the room. Like if there's a sarcophagus or something, then that's when I'm going to stop and say, okay, there's more here. But if it's going to be similar to the room that I'm looking in now, where it's just an empty room with a statue pointed in a certain direction, then I'm going to be doing quick glances.
Okay. All right then. Go ahead and roll me a perception then. All right. So peeking around the corner. Move you up slightly. You're gonna notice that it is the statue is facing at a door. There's another hallway going to the north. And there appears to be remnants of that slime in this room. It seems to be around the door, up the hallway.
Okay. Other direction, there's slime in here.
Should we go down the slime door then, or see if there's a way into this door over here?
Well, there's a room over here with a statue facing a door, and I would imagine the way that it's set up, there's probably another one on the other side. If there's 4 pillar, why am I saying this? She's not smart. It's so hard playing dumb characters. Let's look around before we go into the big room.
All right.
All right. So who wants to take a lead?
I suppose I can, yeah.
Okay. And again, you're just peeking around the corner, seeing what's in this room. Correct?
Yes.
All right. So I'll just move you slightly ahead. Ooh, oh, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened there. You can see partially outside now. Okay. All right. Let me just try to move you again. Okay. You got a door here. You got another hallway that goes north, and you can't really make out what's in there. In here, in this room, you are going to feel cold temperatures. It feels like 40, 50 degrees colder in this room. There is definitely a spot right here where a statue would have been. There is drag marks around it. So it seems like if there was a statue in here, it got dragged out of here a long time ago. There is remnants of slime on the ground in front of this door and heading up into the hall.
Well, looks like there's slime remnants by this door over here. And there's a pathway, but it's got some traces of slime on it too. Don't think we'll risk that, or probably try the main door maybe.
Maybe we should try the main door now.
Okay, we'll pause with you guys. We'll go head back outside. Vels, you are outside. This ritualistic speak is continuing. Jabble is just kind of scratching his head like he doesn't know what to do, and he sees you walk up. I can't seem to speak with her. At least she's not acknowledging me. Like, I've tried to get up in front of her and she won't even look at me. But yeah, she's tied to this thing. Like, maybe if we just pull her away from here. But again, like, you know, she's young, but she's still a Firbolg. She probably can out wrestle both of us combined. So I don't know what to do. But you know, I could try to maybe like she's being controlled by whatever was in that slime. Like, I could try like a lesser restoration or something, but you know, I don't know.
Let me see if I can get some of the slime off of her. Maybe that'll cast prestidigitation and use the cleaning. What is it? Instantaneously clean an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. I can do it multiple times though.
Okay.
Try to clean the slime off. I don't know if that's gonna work.
So if all goes well, is your intention to get all of it off?
Yes.
And yes, let me it's a range of 10 feet, so that only lasts an hour. Is that correct?
Says so.
It's instantaneous.
So there's different effects. So like that one's
okay.
instantaneously, and then there's other ones like chill warm up to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I was very confused by that. Okay. So yeah, if that's the intention, then yeah, it would take a few times casting it to be able to remove it. But yeah, you're able to remove all the slime. You're able to do it from a distance, so you can kind of like walk around and spot check and do it. But you're able to remove it. The entire time not acknowledging you. But go ahead and roll perception.
Perception.
Very good. Very good. And let me just do something real quick. Okay. As you're doing that and moving around, you don't know what's happening, but you can tell that with her right hand is roped and is like pressed up against this rock. The left hand is just very slowly and almost as if like trying to do it without being noticed, like reach for something in her pocket. And as she pulls back out, and I would say it's when you get to like about here, you really see it. You can see a hilt, and you definitely notice that she's pulling out a dagger.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But she notices you, and that's like the first time that she seems to acknowledge your presence, and just kind of like moves her hand a bit in her pocket and brings it back out. This is the actually, I'm sorry. She's speaking in giant. You won't hear. You won't understand. She just yells out in giant. But again, just seems to like stare towards you as she does it, and then looks back up to each of the surrounding pillars and then up to the sky, almost as if she's like beckoning something to come down.
Alright, let me see, is this the thing? Yes. Who knows if that's going to let me speak with her, but I'm going to use my telepathic speech. And so Jabble cannot hear this. Only she can hear this. And we're here to help you. We mean you no harm. Everyone's just really worried about you.
Okay, so there is a line here. To understand each other, you each must speak mentally in a language that the other knows.
The other knows.
However, Clover knows Common. You did hear Common in the Firbolg camp, so it's not like she doesn't understand Common. She's just not speaking Common. She's speaking in Giant as she goes through what she's going through. They seem to bounce back and forth. Firbolgs, that is. They bounce back and forth.
I chose the wrong one. I keep forgetting I have 3 things that let me communicate telepathically.
Okay.
One of them is I share a language. Another one is I don't have to share a language.
Well, okay. So you're not looking to have a back and forth conversation because the first one seems to allow that.
The first one allows it. The other one does not.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and repeat what you said, or what you're saying.
Let's see. We're here to help you. We mean you no harm. Everyone's just very worried about you.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
Sweet.
14. She continues to. I mean, it's obvious that she's hearing you. Well, there's an obvious connection there, I guess, from your standpoint. But she finishes going through this piece of the ritual, and then looks back to you and speaks in Common. You cannot stop it. Today is the day. They will come. Leave before they get here. Or do what I will do and bow down to their graciousness. You cannot stop this. And then she goes back into the ritual.
You turn to the Jabble and... Oh, I got something out of her, but I guess the slime wasn't completely controlling her.
Yeah. Well, you have, I mean, very obvious to you. The slime itself, you removing it doesn't seem to have affected it. Whatever was affecting her has continued and it is continuing. But she is definitely under the influence of something. Her eyes are bloodshot. They're bugged out. She is super confident and focused that this is it. Tonight is the night. And is just going through it over and over and over again until it happens. So Jabble, yeah, well, I mean, again, like we could like try to force her off, but I don't really see that as a thing that will work, and I don't want to like fight a kid or nothing. I mean, I don't know how old she is, but still, do we just leave her, and I'll just take the other two, or like?
Well, we definitely need to get the other two back. But I don't feel like we should leave her. So you can go get the other two back, and I'll stay here, and then you can come back as you can. You know, it's a long walk.
Well, listen, I can try something. but it's not definite that'll help. But like I can get
It's
rid
something.
of. Yeah, I can like if she's under some kind of poison or something, like I can try to get rid of that. But like this seems more like I don't know. I mean, have you ever had like those crazy mushrooms from the woods, like the ones you're not supposed to eat, but people still eat. You know what I mean? That's how she's coming off. Like she's like hallucinating. And that's going to take time to wear off. And what I can do cannot reverse that. It's just going to take time. She probably has no idea where she is.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll just stay here and wait till hopefully it wears off. But we definitely need to get the other two back.
Let me try. And he is going to cast Lesser Restoration. Which should, if the condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned, this will remove it, or disease. So he goes ahead and casts it. It does not work. Yeah, no, definitely a hallucination of some kind. It's gonna take time. It'll take me an hour to get back, but I'm fine with just heading out. I mean, if she's just out here, by herself, I doubt any wild's gonna interfere. The Firbolg, they're pretty good with nature and stuff. So, as long as she, doesn't try to hurt herself or nothing, like, should be fine. Again, I can't imagine any kind of ritual is going to bring the giants back, but...
Oh, you never know. But...
So, I'm not... You think I should just take these two back and let them know that we found the other?
We found them.
Yeah.
Something's going on, and yeah.
All right. And he's gonna leave, and he's gonna take the other two back. It's Vels. What's your current thoughts? Like, what are you thinking? You've got a party that's up inside the mound.
Yep.
She's just out here, just talking gibberish from what you can hear, what you can tell.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast detect thoughts and see what I can gather. Let's see. This saving throw is only if I choose to probe further. Yeah, just see what's on her mind. See if... I don't know. I don't know how the detect thoughts would work on that.
When you cast a spell and as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet of you. If the creature you choose has an intelligence 3 or lower, blah, 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 it's not effective. Okay, you initially learn the surface thoughts, but yes, you could try to dive deeper as an action. If you probe deeper, the target must make... Okay. All right. Then, yes, surface thoughts. She is compelled to bring back the giants. And by performing this ritual that she's doing here in the center, in this specific location, she believes that they will appear. They will take the place of these stones. Representative of some kind. And the giants will return to this land once again. That is her surface level thoughts. She's compelled to do this. She knows this is the right thing to do, and she's doing it. And every time that she turns with almost an expectation that when she does, she will see one of them.
All right. Well, based on what Jabble said, it sounds like she'll be fine out here, and I don't know if the ritual's supposed to go on a long time, because it obviously has, or what, but obviously hasn't worked yet, so it may not actually work. So Vels is going to decide to join the rest of the party.
All right, very good. I don't think you can climb through walls. So
no.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was gonna move you. And yeah, you'll reach the door, and they are at a point when they're determining what to do next. So as you guys are discussing next steps and looking up towards the door to the north of you, you hear Vels walk in.
So Jabble's gone and taken the two back to back home, and I tried cleaning off the slime, didn't do anything. Something's compelling her to try to bring back the giants. And that's all she's thinking about, is just bringing them back, and that this is going to work.
There's no sign of magic on her, right?
No magic. We tried Luster Restoration. We cleaned off the slime. I think was mentioned dispelling magic.
I got a scroll of greater restoration, but do we really want to use that here?
Don't. From what we gather, it sounded like just some hallucination is making her think this. I don't think greater restoration would.
Well, and I'll point to the hallways. There's slime down that way, so we're thinking of going through this big main door.
Real quick, let me just interject that Clover, the scroll that you have.
Yes.
Yes, theoretically, probably would come into use in this scenario. However, then you're at a bit of a issue, because if you head out of here now, then you got to close up. You got to close up the mound so no one else can go in. Then you do it, and then you got to take her back because you're not taking her in here with you guys.
Right.
So it does throw the complication of timing.
Right.
Only because Vels made you aware that Jabble took the other two back.
Correct.
But okay, what are we doing?
I'm saying this door opens.
Yep. Open the door.
All right. So let me look at something real quick. All right. So Khaligrim, you're gonna reach to open the door. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah, there's like a little Yeah, it's like a little doorknob. It's a wooden door. And it does open. And it opens away from you, so as you peek in, you have sarcophaguses. Like 6 of them. However, the main thing... Oh, I'm sorry, and another door all the way on the other side. But you have 2 skeletons that are here.
Like
Uh,
the
but,
enemies?
but Khaligrim, do you notice some weirdness to it? Two things that are kind of confusing. Well, first of all, they immediately like turn their heads to look at you, so they're aware of you. However, they appear to be floating. They're a good 5-6 inches from the ground. And the other thing, Khaligrim, is they appear to be dancing. They're kind of hands grasped around one another, and they are just kind of like swaying and turning, and they look at you, and one holds up a hand and waves you forward towards them, almost like inviting you to dance.
I'm like utterly confused and just turn around, just like.
That's when you shut the door and just be like,
Just like,
Ape, I would say you're at least aware of the dancing skeletons. Vels, you can see in there too. You're aware of skulls bobbing up and down, twirling around, just looking over the ape and Khaligrim. Clover, you just know it's open. You can kind of barely make out a sarcophagus there.
I can see the corner of a skeleton, like a
There's
corner
something.
of the token right there.
Yeah, there's something there.
And I can see that sarcophagus in that one.
Yeah. So Khaligrim, reactions, audible, anything?
So do you guys want to dance with some skeletons?
Blink, blink. His old head. Is that a meteor? Does that mean something?
It might. I'll go and see what they're up to, and I kind of like cautiously enter, just still kind of keeping my eyes focused on the 2 like floating skeletons.
Okay, so before we continue, and I'm gonna go ahead and let me do something proactively here. Give me a second. I'm just gonna delete that door because you are stuck in the center of it, and it'll be difficult for you to get out. My two questions. Again, is it are you just kind of stepping in and taking a cursory glance? Or based on the strangeness, you want to spend some time in here, depending on the reaction from the skeletons? That's the first question. The second question is, these are undead. You guys are aware of undead and the threat that they have posed to Sedun County, but also, I mean, you experienced north of Blackgate. So I think there'll probably be... Obviously, this is an odd scene, but you also have some history and some knowledge. So, like, any hands on weapons or anything like that, or like how are you actually entering it?
Mm. I'd say I'm going in, not really glancing around, kind of just going in, trying to like, take in what's going on, but just mostly focusing on the two skeletons. Just going in very cautiously, still a bit dumbfounded, but have like my hands slowly kind of resting on my warhammer just in case, but like, you know, since they're skeletons, but so yeah.
Okay. I'll go ahead and roll me a perception while you are walking forward. What is everyone else doing?
I want to peek around and figure out what he means by dancing skeletons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna come up behind and, oh, those are skeletons.
Yes, and they are dancing. You can easily look over his head. The doorway is a good 15 foot tall. It's a rather large door. And, but yes, peeking over his head, you can see two skeletons that are dancing. Hands are clasped. Other hands are around each other's. One around the back of the neck, the other around the waist, and they're just kind of swaying around this room. Very obvious to you that they are seemingly floating. A few inches above the ground. Now that you see it, initial reaction.
Blink, blink, turn back at the others and just have his face like, do you see this? Do you see this? She doesn't entirely believe what's going on.
Vels nods his head. Like, that's something I haven't seen before. Vels just is kind of in shock, like what's going on?
How you doing, buddies?
All right. Well, Khaligrim, you take a step forward, staring at these skeletons that are dancing, and as you approach, they kind of push each other apart, and one twirls around the other. They do she does a bit of a bow, a dip, if you will, and then comes back, and as she twirls back around, well, this skeleton twirls back around, extends its hand out to you.
I was just like, just pause there, just like thinking, like, a skeleton seriously offering me to dance, kind of like thinking in my head, surely I don't have to do this.
Yeah, I think you would just kind of like look around, like briefly at the scene. You would see the two sarcophaguses that are to either side of you. So these front two ones are opened. But you would also notice, let me verify this. One seems to be wearing a pearl necklace, the one that just got dipped. wearing a pearl necklace. The other is wearing some kind of gold medallion, just hanging very proudly on its chest. But there is remnants of that slime on them as well. And it kind of drip off of the elbows as they move and kind of scatter around the room. Dripping off of the feet as they move around. The other coffins seem to be closed, though.
I kind of like take a little step back. I turn around to the other three and kind of like mouth out like, they got the slime on them. And I just kind of just turn back to the skeletons and like just slowly creep towards them. Not much, but like just inching towards them. Just to have like a, I don't know, a closer look at like the necklace and stuff on them.
Okay. What's everyone else doing?
I'm still a little bit in shock. But I am trying to like peer over Khaligrim's head and like try and look around the room some more, just sort of figure out what's going on.
Oh, I was muted.
Oh.
Hi. I want to explain some things. At this point, I think Wisp is kind of tired of not being able to communicate and is going to turn back into herself.
Ah.
Okay. Wispy, come back.
Clover will do a double take over her shoulder, like, there is just an ape right there.
I'll just wave.
Well, okay, guys. It is after 10.
I think that's why we were just a little bit in shock and just sitting there like,
Yeah, we seem to be a bit dumbfounded at this point. So do we want to go ahead and call the session here and pick this back up soon? Or do you want to press forward?
I still have to make lunches for this week, so I'm going to vote call it.
Okay.
Fine with that.
Yeah, that's All we need is one vote. All we
Alright.
need is one vote to call it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, cool. Well, that's where we'll end. And then we'll just have to look at the schedule coming up to see when everyone's available. But yeah, you have found some dancing skeletons. They seem very friendly. Well, I mean, they're inviting you to dance. Are they friendly? You know, I guess you'll have to find out if you accept or you don't accept. But we'll leave it at that. But that's it. We'll go ahead and end the stream here. For those who are tuning in live, thanks. Thanks for doing so. I just threw a message in the chat. But yeah, if you're enjoying what we're doing, go ahead and subscribe. We stream 2 to 3 times a month. This group, as well as 2 other groups that are playing in this the shared campaign. And you can head on over to agentsofB.com for more information about the campaign and how to listen live, how to listen over on the podcast as well. And yeah, and if you're tuning in on YouTube, Rumble, and I can't put it on Twitch. There's not much room for a description, but there is a link there for our Discord if you want to continue the conversation over there. That's it. So we'll leave it. Thanks, everybody.